Friday, the 31st day of January 2020. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. Senior 4 UNEB results released, 92.2% pass. Results of 1,262 UCE candidates withheld. Elsewhere in the world, Kenya Airways suspends flights to China. And in sports, transfer deadline, clubs busy transacting business. Hello there and welcome once again. On sign language, I'll be joined shortly by Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, and let's get started. Prime Minister Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda is back from Djibouti, where he attended the Education Relief Foundation Third Forum for Balanced and Inclusive Education. The purpose of this forum was to develop strategies to meet the UN Sustainable Development Goal 4 on inclusive and equitable quality education. Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda represented President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni at the conference organized by the Education Relief Foundation in conjunction with the Republic of Djibouti. Let's get more in this report.
Delegates from across the world gathered at Djibouti Palace, Kempinski, to share experience and to develop efficient collaborations in balanced and inclusive education. This international summit comes in a wake of challenges that have failed a more inclusive system of education for children, especially in the third world. The President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, in his welcome speech, said issues at the core of balanced and inclusive education were of keen interest to the African continent. He said Djibouti's commitment to achieve high standards in education led them to collaborate with the Education Relief Foundation to establish first pilot projects in balanced and inclusive education. He appreciated the honor given to his country to host this forum. He also thanked the Education Relief Foundation for their commitment to push the balanced and inclusive education as a foundation for equitable and sustainable development. The Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, assured the gathering that in line with goal number 4 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals on inclusive and equitable quality education, Uganda was in full support, and accordingly, he signed the Universal Declaration on Balanced and Inclusive Education.
The government of Uganda has made progress towards ensuring that no one is left behind by putting in place a federal policy framework and programs which have boosted access and protection of learners, including those with special needs at all levels of education.
The President of the Education Relief Foundation, Sheikh Mansour bin Musalam, said the signing of the Universal Declaration of Balanced and Inclusive Education will operationalize a framework of technical and financial cooperation. The Prime Minister took off time to visit a number of strategic infrastructure investments in Djibouti. He visited Dorale Multipurpose Port, which is at the heart of Djibouti's national development. It has modern infrastructure of international standard. The country is developing through the rise of new port sites. This port is located at the entrance to the Red Sea and in the second busiest shipping lane in the world. This makes it a port of choice. He also visited Nagadi railway station, which has 752 kilometers of standard gauge rail. It runs southwards from Nagad railway station towards the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. It has 5 interland stations and it is the main freight station of Djibouti, handling cargo of 106 containers and 20,000 passengers per day. He also visited Djibouti International Free Trade Zone, which is 800 square hectares. It is going to be a one-stop trading center for Africa. It is a 5-year project fully connected with infrastructure such as tarmac roads, water and electricity. The Prime Minister visited Djibouti Telecom. This country is strategically located at the crossroads of the 3 continents, offering the perfect natural getaway to Africa. It is positioning itself as a key telecom hub for Africa and to help partners interconnect with the rest of the world. This story was compiled by Michael Mgerwa for UBC News.
Now to matters pertaining to the education sector. At least 92.2% of the 333,060 candidates who sat senior 4 examinations last year passed, while the failure rate reduced from 12.8% in 2018 to 7.8% this year. Now, the Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has said the practice of compressing the syllabus by teachers and rushing through the curriculum is wrong and contributes to poor performance in examinations. Janet Museveni was releasing this year's Uganda Certificate of Education examinations here in Kampala.
The 2019 Certificate of Education examinations have been released at a ceremony held in Kampala, with more girls sitting for the examination than boys. At least 333,060 candidates sat the UCE exams held in November 2019, compared to 330,721 who sat in 2018. This time round, the number of girls is more than that of boys. The Ministry of Education and Sports plans to strategically prioritize education of the girl child and ensure gender equity. Improved performance of candidates has been registered in biology, geography, agriculture, chemistry and art, while English language, history and commerce had a significant drop. In science subjects like physics and chemistry, 60% of the female candidates were unable to get a pass 8, while only 40.2% of the candidates passed. Uganda National Examinations Board attributes a gap in performance to inadequate syllabus coverage.
Therefore, rush through the curriculum content and skip some topics so that they can live a whole year that it is for revision. And one wonders whether that revision is revising everything that had been prepared in the curriculum or just parts that has been taught. So this is really wrong.
UNEB expressed the need to find out what causes low achievement of girls in science subjects.
Is of the view that there is need to investigate and identify the factors responsible for this phenomenon, with a view to addressing this negative development.
Examiners discovered that proficiency language did not only affect English subject, but was reflected in answers of other subjects.
And it appears the teachers are telling the candidates that the more bombastic words you use, the better. Because some of the words we find in the compositions cannot even be understood by the teachers themselves. Where the chief examiners continue to report problems of question interpretation or candidates not understanding exactly what the questions require, and then they give answers which are inadequate.
In physics, candidates did not exhibit experience in handling apparatus and practical background to do such questions, while in chemistry they wrongly spelled chemical terminologies.
One of the biggest problems in chemistry is that the candidates do not know the steps of balancing equations. This is a very important skill in chemistry, and if they do not understand this now, they will find a lot of problems with chemistry at higher levels.
Sciences are being taught in theory only, and that does not help sciences to be done well. But we are thinking that with the curriculum rollout that's coming out now, we think that even sciences will be done better because the work that these children do at school right now is a lot. And if they don't have the time to concentrate on sciences, for instance, where you need more time to do practicals, then you come out doing badly.
Results of 1,262 candidates have been withheld for suspected involvement in examination malpractice. These cases have mainly been discovered in science subjects.
These 1,262, Honorable Minister, are a result of teachers trying, or not just trying, but providing assistance to the candidates as they write the examination. Some of them are as they do the practicals, and others are a result of candidates colluding or copying from one another.
Meanwhile, parents have been encouraged to consider taking their children to technical vocational institutions to acquire hands-on skills and not only consider Senior 5 and 6. The selection exercise for Senior 5 is set for 13th and 14th February this year. I'm Nafka Farida and Daniel Mugoya reporting.
Thanks, Farida and Daniel, for that report there. And of course, congratulations to those that have made it to senior secondary education this year. Now, still with the education sector, and celebrations are evident across the country for those that excelled in the 2019 Uganda Certificate of Education exams, whose results were released earlier today. Now, our reporter, John Burns Sentamu, trekked across several schools in Kampala and now reports.
It's time for celebrations by a number of schools in the country as Senior 4 results trickle in. The First Lady, also Minister of Education, released the results in Kampala. Sustained success has once again been witnessed at Budo Senior Secondary School, where 167 first grades and 130 second grades confirm that the school has maintained its status as a powerhouse.
I just read and I used to plan. Before I read, I just planned what I have to read before. For me to do that, things will be better.
I'm from the secondary school. I got 18.8 and I'm really happy for that. I got 5 aggregates in P7. Yay! And I would like to thank my teachers for all the support they have given me. I'd like to thank my parents that they have offered school fees.
Though two candidates, Farouk Sekabira and Marvin Senyonjo, scored 18.8, Vincent Sekago showed vast improvement with 12 aggregates.
After getting aggregate 19 in my primary 7, I told myself that I cannot lose hope like this, because if others can, I can also get the best aggregates. I said that let me start my foundation in senior 1 such that when senior 4 comes, I'll maybe get some good aggregates, and with all this mercy, I'll come to my achievement.
Budo Senior Secondary School Administration puts the success to many factors.
First of all, we normally cover the syllabi, the different syllabi in the different subjects in time. By the time we get to S4, we are normally done with what you're supposed to teach them for the 4 years. Then we normally do intensive revision. The teachers normally do intensive revision to make sure that everything is covered and then revised. We normally do several tests to make sure that the students can conceptualize on the different areas that are necessary for them maybe to internalize before they sit for their finals.
Chisozi High School also scored impressively with 68 first grades and 29 second grades, results that rank it amongst the best day schools in Uganda. At St. Janan Luumu SS Kabalagala, out of 150 candidates that sat, 77 passed in first grade. The school head teacher Andrew Aijuka told us what enabled them scale the heights.
What led to such an excellent performance was 1, teamwork of the teachers, then 2, teamwork amongst the students, hard work of the students, consultation of the students, then above all, facilitation and workshops.
Candidates who excelled attributed their success to hard work, faith in God, and support from parents and teachers.
My name is Untitled Chapter. I've been studying from General Secondary School. I've got a lot of aggregates, and I'm so happy. I'm so thankful to my teachers and friends who have been there for me. I'm going to join another school, and I'm going to take a combination of PCM.
My name is Kansi Median, and I've been studying from General Secondary School. And I was able to get 10 aggregates. And in A-level, I would like to do physics, chemistry, and math.
Crested, a secondary school in Makindye, continued its excellence with science as the best performed at the center that sat 77, 35 of whom scored first grades.
I am so excited that we have all passed very well. I also congratulate my friend who has got 9 in 8.
Teamwork amongst all parties played a big part at Crested Secondary School.
We are very excited and would like to thank God for the wonderful performance in the UCE 2019. Our candidates performed very well and we thank God for it. The best candidate got 9 aggregates in the best 8 subjects. That is a very good performance and we thank God for it. Generally, all the students performed very well.
Light College Bulenga is yet again alive with sounds of joy for the 38 first grades attained.
I thank God and I thank my parents. I was the best at Light Secondary and Vocational School Bulenga. I got 12 aggregates. I thank my director because he also provided us with vocational studies.
Government expects to complete the selection process and ensure senior 5 students report to schools by end of February. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Thanks, Barnes, for that report. And of course, so many other students are still celebrating in the just released 2019 Uganda certificate of examinations, UC results, and the celebrations are just starting, and so many of them shared their joy with UBC TV, as we see in this report.
Upon the news of the 2019 Senior 4 UNEB results release, jubilations echoed across the country as students, parents and schools celebrated their success. Kilton High School Mukono has emerged as the best in the district, with 92% of the students passing, with the best 4 students securing aggregate 8 in 8 subjects. Cheers and hulations was observed from the students and the head of school.
To begin with, first of all, God. Yeah, this was all possible because God was with us. Yeah, we prayed for us, we fasted, and yeah, we harvested something in the end.
Because we passed early because of the church guidance, everything. They helped us in different subjects, especially science subjects, where I performed better.
The head teacher, Gordon Katimbo, attributed victory to fear of God and the students' discipline.
In a very special way, I want to glorify God Almighty, because it is Him that has given us the success we always yearn for. I want also to thank the teachers, the colleagues for the hard work and struggle.
In Masaka, Blessed Sacrament Senior Secondary School Chimanya, which emerged the best in Greater Masaka, had 3 students scoring 8 in 8 subjects, 83 first grades, and others passing well in second grade.
Twagala okwebaza abaana ffe bakoze bulungi nnyo, twakoze first grades 83 ne second grades 6. Era twagala okwebaza Katonda olw'okusobeza okukola obulungi. Twagala okwebaza omukulu w'essomero olw'okutulambika obulungi ne tusobola okukola obulungi. Abasomesa baffe n'abakozi bonna ab'omu ssomero mwebale kuwagira abaana.
At Wakiso Muslim Secondary School, all the 100 candidates passed very well and can all join A-level. The head teacher, Amina Namaganda, says this year's performance is better than that of last year's.
So there has been a great improvement compared to 2018. And I believe that this success and achievement can be attributed to one, the teamwork that my teachers have, and we enforce discipline. That one is the key number 1.
St. Kizito High School Namugongo had 21st grades and 20 in second grade, with the best scoring 8 in 8.
Our students performed very well, and he was the best, is the one who got 8 in 8. We have those who got 11 in 8. We are proud and we thank God for the great performance they have made.
In Shema district, it was nothing but jubilations in some schools as students and teachers celebrated success. At Itendeo Secondary School, where Shabenta Stephen scored 15 aggregates, it was all jubilations.
And I've made 15 aggregates. I'm very proud of the aggregates, and at this time I'm so excited. I can't tell how God has done for me.
Yes, we thank God for everything, mostly for the scores we have got.
At Jinja Progressive Academy, parents, teachers and students walked in to celebrate upon the good performance. The school got 49 first graders and 18 passed in second grade.
18 for 8, total 49, only 18 students in second grade. Give Brian!
Bernard Yiga, UBC.
Thanks, Bennett, for that report there. And of course, so many students, as you've just watched in those two reports, they are passing highly, and some parents would actually prefer having their children after senior 6 studying either here in Uganda or even abroad. And that's why we'll be joined later on in this program by Jim Whiteway, who is the Director of International Education at Loyalist College, Canada. We'll be talking about the advantages that Ugandan students stand to benefit from schools outside the country. But let's move on now, and we go to Kauku, where over 120 youths under the umbrella organization Steady Youth Platform have toured Kaumu Presidential Demonstration Farm in Luweero district. Now, the youth group from Kampala and Wakiso districts that was led by Mr. Senabria Frank comprises 62 different subgroups under the main Steady Youth Platform that deals in different enterprises that include, among others, fish farming in Nalukolongo, carpentry in Namungona, shoemaking in Kasubi, welding and hairdressing. Now, they sought permission from President Museveni to tour the farm, to which he had no objection, so that they would learn from the different enterprises carried out at the farm.
In November 2016, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni picked up a bicycle, a hoe and a panga to start up a demonstration farm called Kaumu Presidential Demonstration Farm. The president's aim was to interest as many Ugandans to engage in commercial farming as a way of raising their income to better their livelihood. Today, over 120 youth under the umbrella organization Steady Youth Platform have toured Kaumu Presidential Demonstration Farm in Luweero district. The youth group from Kampala and Wakiso districts that was led by Mr. Senabria Frank comprises 62 different subgroups under the main Steady Youth Platform. The youth who were received at the farm by the Assistant Private Secretary to the President in charge of Agriculture, Mrs. Rosalina Cheng, were advised to take this opportunity tour serious to be able to go back in their groups and share the knowledge they would acquire. The youth were taken on a guided tour by the farm manager, Mr. Nduga Godfrey, to see for themselves and learn from the different enterprises undertaken at the farm that include pineapple, coffee and banana growing, fish farming, poultry and cattle keeping, among others. Mr. Ganduga said that the president's dream is being realized as such groups from all walks of life around the country are pouring in at Kaumu to learn modern agriculture.
I just want to thank His Excellency the President for the initiative because this farm has really helped the youth and all other Ugandans in different areas. We train them the good agricultural practices as we have done it today. We took them through quite a number of enterprises ranging from fish farming, pasture management, nursery management.
The group leader, Mr. Senabuja Frank, thanked the president for the opportunity to tour his farm, adding that they are going to be goodwill ambassadors of modern agriculture to fellow youth, not only in Kampala, but also in the whole country.
We really thank the president for this initiative and allowing us to come and visit his farm here at Kaumu. It's been a dream come true that we didn't know people can come here and visit the presidential farm. So this has been so good to us. You see, you can see some of our members that are benefiting out of this. We are going to become real ambassadors for agricultural products and the presidential initiatives in the entire nation, starting with Kampala as a district, because we're based in Kampala.
Other youth participants were also grateful for the opportunity and called upon their fellow youth to join the agriculture sector and clear the perception that agriculture is for the old people.
And I would also like to take this opportunity to call upon all the youths out there that you can use this chance to also come at the farm and you know, visit and learn a lot. So never take anything for granted. Agriculture is the way to go.
Kaumu Presidential Demonstration Farm has become a learning center for citizens and visitors who want to replicate the 4-acre model program that President Museveni said would be the magic bullet for people with limited space for farming to fight poverty and become prosperous.
Here where we are in a coffee chamber, and as you can see, we are already harvesting with Muzei here at Kaumu Presidential Demonstration Farm. A group of youth are also here today to tap into the knowledge of the president and the government at large on how they can develop through commercial agriculture. I'm Dennis Blair Kalanzi in Kaumu, Luero District.
Thanks, Dennis, and we do hope that the youth there gained a lot of knowledge and that they can actually use it to benefit themselves and their families, and as a result, the whole country. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, has reiterated her total support to ensure that the administration of Justice Bill is off the shelves of Parliament, where it has been for over 10 years. While attending the opening of the new law year 2020, Speaker Kadaga blamed the delayed tabling of the bill to the Line Ministry, as we hear in this report.
Now, the judiciary has been pushing for the passing of the Administration of Justice Bill with the hope that this will, among others, give self-accountability to the judiciary. However, due to different reasons, the bill has been collecting dust on the shelves of Parliament for close to 10 years.
Both on the ground floor and the first floor.
While attending the opening of the new law year 2020, the Attorney General, William Biaruhanga, asked Parliament to expedite the passing of the bill as a gift to the soon retiring Chief Justice.
I'm happy the Speaker is here, and I'm sure you all know the role that the Executive and the Parliament are supposed to play in the passing of this bill. For now, I want to say that the less I say about the Justice Bill, the better, because it has been a tale of some broken promises. Let me suffice it to say that it would be the least of our presents to our outgoing Chief Justice, the Honorable Bart Katurebe, who has given exceptional service to his country.
In response, the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, said the August House has been eagerly waiting for the bill to be tabled and disposed of once and for all, but often at times let down by the ministry. Kadaga has accordingly asked the Line Minister and the Attorney General to do the needful before allaying fears about the bill.
But my worry now is that there is a new Minister of Justice. If we are going to wait for the new Minister to settle down, the bill may not be done until the end of the session. So I want to appeal the Attorney General to take up this matter. My side is ready, but because the government bill, I cannot move until the government is ready.
At the event, the Vice President, Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi, who represented President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, urged judicial officers to support government programs through timely dispensation of justice.
Other concern is accountability. As you strive towards a modern, professional, and effective judiciary, you must join me in the fight against resource misuse and corruption.
Earlier, the Chief Justice Bat Katrebe once again decried understaffing as one of the bottlenecks frustrating timely dispensation of justice to all.
There is no doubt we are not as efficient as we should be. There are issues of our own where people are absent or not handling cases adequately. But it cannot be taken away from the fact cases must continue to be heard by human beings. We have not yet reached a stage that I was told that they are trying to work out in Singapore, where they are trying to develop an app where you put in the facts of the case and the law, and the machine will give you the judgment. Now, we haven't reached that stage, and I think we should not even deceive ourselves that we shall reach it in the near future. But human resource, we have an establishment for 100 chief magistrates, and when you have only 46, what do you tell the rest of the country? We should have more than 500 magistrates, we have only 190. This must be addressed to Your Excellency, not for the benefit of the judiciary, but for the benefit of the people of Uganda. According to statistics, there are 391 judicial officers serving a population of about 41 million Ugandans. Meanwhile, the Uganda Law Society has recognized the Principal Judge Emeritus, Yorokamba Mwini, and the soon retiring Chief Justice, Bat Katrebe, for their diligent service to the nation. Dorcas Kimono, UBC TV News.
31 minutes after 10, we'll now take a very short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Remember, no person is too big or too small to avoid the effects of alcohol. Just one drink can increase the risk of a serious crash. Once it's in your blood system, the only remedy is time. Short-term remedies such as coffee, cold showers, or energy drinks don't help. If you need to travel after a drink, be responsible. Take a taxi or public transport, or just stay where you are. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Welcome to the Equal Opportunities Commission, an independent statutory body that works towards ensuring that all forms of discrimination, marginalization, and unfair treatment are eliminated. The Equal Opportunities Commission has power of court and can enforce its decisions. It is established and supported by the government of Uganda. It also garners support from development partners, civil society, the private sector, faith-based, and cultural organizations. Visit the Equal Opportunities Commission today, the home of equal opportunities for all, or call us on our toll-free line 0800 100 440. This message is brought to you by the Equal Opportunities Commission with support from the United Nations Human Rights Office.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
Enjoy great value from Airtel with the all-new My Pakalast combo offers. We have customized especially for you the best deals on minutes, data, and SMS with our 3-in-1 My Pakalast combo to give you the best value as you stay in touch with friends and family. To activate My Pakalast voice combo, dial *100*2*1# to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Remember, no person is too big or too small to avoid the effects of alcohol. Just one drink can increase the risk of a serious crash. Once it's in your blood system, the only remedy is time. Short-term remedies such as coffee, cold showers, or energy drinks don't help. If you need to travel after a drink, be responsible. Take a taxi or public transport, or just stay where you are. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. And the big story today is, of course, the senior 4 results being released today, and so many students passing and going to different schools across the country, but also looking at the education sector generally. Some parents after senior 6 would like to see their kids actually attain much better education, even in Uganda or even abroad. And we're looking at the opportunities that these students, our own students, can actually have within and outside the country. And I'm joined by Mr. Jim Whitwell, who is the Director for International Education, and that is at Loyalist College, that is in Canada. And we're looking at the advantages that our students can actually accrue from getting education elsewhere else. Yes, Jim, good evening and welcome to News Tonight.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Yes, you come at a time when our UCE examination results have been released and our students passing so well. Tell us, what is your take, because you know our education system here, what do you think our students can accrue from, for example, getting education elsewhere, like in Canada?
Well, it's a changing world right now, Edward. It's a world where we talk a lot about global economy. We talk a lot about world issues, a changing environment. And I think that the benefit of study abroad, study in Canada, study in any country other than where you've really grown up and learned your foundational skills, is it opens your eyes to what the world looks like. It opens your eyes to be a global citizen. And then you can bring your ideas to another country and then bring those ideas back home. It shapes the way you think. And if you only know what you know in your home country, maybe you're missing something. Maybe there's an opportunity that could be a win-win for both you, your country, and the country that you visit.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is this phenomenon that probably is in Africa. I don't know whether it is also in European countries, especially in Canada, whereby you find if a student, for example, fails to go to university, their parents feel taking them to vocational institutions is something that demeans them, or something, it's something that they don't actually like doing here. And yet, we've come to realize that vocational institutions actually help students to get, hands-on skills, and as a result they get, ready jobs. What's your take on that?
Well, I couldn't agree more. I think that for many parents in Canada, not so long ago, the only real goal was a university degree. And we often hear that students coming out of university are not getting jobs because they're overqualified. And so I would twist that and say maybe they're actually underqualified. Maybe they've acquired a great deal of learning of theoretical knowledge in universities. And for some to go on to master's and PhD levels to really focus on research, that's a natural path. But for many, do they have the job skills to meet the demand of the economy? Are they ready to hit the floor running? Or are they someone that is going to require extra training when they join an organization? The skills that students acquire in a college, it's not about theory, it's about the practical application of theory. Small lectures, 20 minutes, but then get into a lab and practice that. Maybe it's group work in a business environment or a case study, working with clients in a student-run tax lab. In biosciences, it's doing the experiments. In welding, it's creating that proper weld. In auto mechanics, it's making sure the wheels don't fall off when the car leaves the shop. But the students at a college level, whatever vocation it might be, have the skills. They've loaded their toolbox. They're ready to contribute to your business the minute that you hire them.
Okay, thank you. And of course, there's this 10th annual Africa Students Education Fair that's going to take place. What should we expect from there?
Well, it's a really good opportunity for parents and students to come and learn about the opportunities that exist outside of Uganda, opportunities to have study abroad for 1 or 2 or even more years if they wish to do that. ASCF Fair, I've been coming now for 6 years, and as a result, we have a number of students on our campus who have been extremely successful in Canada and have actually come back here to Uganda. I have one story, if I have a moment, of a student who came and studied, was very successful, and then a young man from Nigeria also came and studied. The two met, they've studied together, and now they've opened a software company. They've bid on a project in Nigeria and here in Uganda, and it looks like they're going to win that project. So you've got students that are multinational, global citizens, both from where they learned, an international learning experience, now coming together to solve a problem here in this country. So those types of experiences, those types of conversations, questions parents might have about what is it going to be like. As a parent myself and as a grandparent, I can't imagine the fear and the questions and the mystery of what it would be like to send my son or daughter away to another country, especially across the ocean. And right now, today, it's -4 degrees in Canada, and the snow's that deep. So it's a wholly different experience. So coming out to a fair like that is a really good opportunity for parents and students to learn more, to ask the questions, and to learn firsthand what those opportunities are.
Of course, that is very much. And of course, as we went up, is it going to be free or?
Oh, it's completely free, and we're there for 2 days, Monday and Tuesday of next week at GEM International.
And also, finally, our students at times they go to those outside countries, but they find it a little bit hard for them to come back. Now, after let us say maybe 3 years or something, are there laws in Canada or elsewhere that actually force them to come back? Because we need that the skills that they've learned, we need them to come back here and develop the country.
Absolutely, and the Canadian government does allow students to stay on and work in the economy depending on their length of study. If they study in Canada for 1 year, they can stay in Canada and work for 1 year. If they study in Canada for 2 years or more, they can stay for 3. But at the end of those 3 years, they have to make the decision to come home. But we're not just about recruiting students, if I might say. We're looking for opportunities to partner with institutions here. I'm not saying that Canadian education is better than Ugandan education or Ugandan is better than Canadian. But what I'm saying is we have a lot to learn from each other.
Partnerships.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, viewer. That has been Jim Whitway, who is the Director, International Education Loyalist College in Canada. And we're talking about this upcoming 10th Annual Africa Students Education Fair. And we shall end this interview here, but we're going to continue with our news. And of course, earlier today, Police's Human Resource Management retired 274 senior and junior police officers at a ceremony that was held at Naguru Police Headquarters. Now, these include 3 senior commissioners of police, who include Dennis Odongpini, who until last December was chairman of the police court. Now, other retiring senior commissioners of police include Benjamin Namanya and Samuel Zati. Also, 4 commissioners of police who include Hilary Odoch, Wilson Ahimbisibwe, Fabian Amadia and Paul Tumuhimbise Kato are among those that have been discharged. Retiring senior superintendents of police SSPs include Wakwale Ahmad, Kamkugize Stephen, Kamgisha Thomas, Yahweh Joseph, Aboda John, Otim Chris, Eric Nyakaisiki, Leon and Wede Michael, among others. Now, majority of the retiring officers have clocked 60 years and have served in police force for more than 25 years. Let's have the highlights.
The Inspector General of Police, Martin Okotho-Chola, has appreciated retiring officers for their dedicated service, urging them to continue being resourceful in the next stage of life outside the force.
We had to hold this farewell function as a sign of appreciation to our officers as they conclude their years of police service. It is needless to emphasize that police life is tough, challenging, and for some, it is heartbreaking. It is characterized by hard tasks, sadness, and at times grief.
The officers were taken through pre-retiring training session by a number of consultants to prepare them for the life outside police service.
Our struggle to change society to a crime-free Uganda doesn't end with us while we are in the police.
You must find new friends very quickly and choose the right friends. I don't want you to be like some people who behave in a funny way. They are surrounded by 9 fools and they become the 10th fool.
In the service has nothing to do with age. One of the ways you exit the service is through death. And this happens any time in the course of your life.
The Director Human Resource, Colonel Jesse Kamunanwire, told the officers that retiring is the better sweet moment where one starts a new life outside the routine days of the force.
Certainty about retirement begins the day one starts working. That day you joined the police, that day you were tested. That's when planning for retirement should begin.
A senior officer from the Pension Department, Minister of Public Service, Victor Obua, proposed change of curriculum where police officers have to be prepared for retirement immediately they join the service.
It will be necessary if every public servant, whether in the Uganda Police Force, in the Army and so, begin to think about leaving the service even before reaching 60. We have carried a few study, and our experience is that those who live most fulfilling life, those who are very happy, are those who actually left on their own and early.
Among the long senior serving officers were senior commissioners Ezati Samuel Dramani, Dennis Odongpiny, and Benjamin Namanya. On behalf of the retirees, Namanya appreciated the police administration for the retirement ceremony, the first of its kind in the history of the Uganda Police Force.
I worked in human resource management and admin. But my main challenge was, how can officers put in too much the force and the country at large, and they just go still say like very chicken thief. So I'm happy it has happened now. We are officially being sent off. I want to thank you for that, Mr. Inspector General.
The retirees talk about their long service in police.
I retired when I was in Mbarara police station some 7 years back, and I've been moving up with that life, and I've found it very nice.
Glad that I was among the invited to come for this official send-off, and here I am, have served the last 44 years. I'm glad that I gave that service to the nation, and I'm ready to go to the civilian life and also see how I end my life.
They also pledged to work with police as a backup force once they are required to. The retirees were seen off outside the police headquarters gates, accompanied by the IGP and other directors of police. Mutonyi Hilda, UBC News.
And in a related development, 153 police officers have completed a course on public order management ahead of the 2021 general elections. The Chief Instructor, Field Force Unit Edson Wimbwine, says that the training is meant to equip police officers with skills to manage public order and observance of human rights.
Police have sometimes been blamed over violation of human rights, mainly during public demonstration, as a way of imparting professional skills and public order among police officers. Police have started carrying out refresher courses countrywide. The Chief Instructor, Field Force Unit Edson Bamwine, explained that the refresher course was aimed at imparting professional and public order management skills onto the police personnel within the Albertine region.
Arresting techniques, detention, then the categories of the people to be detained, how we cater for them, how we move during arrests, the introduction, like you need to go and introduce yourself, I'm so and so, you bring out your warrant card.
Bamwine says the training aims at restoring police force image and the public perception.
Hours of detention were also captured, and I know from here the errors that were being committed by the officers on course are going to be rectified, and I don't think then we shall have any issues in human rights, especially in this region.
Hoima District Police Commander Martin Okoyo says the training was long overdue and asked the trainees to always observe human rights during public demonstrations.
As you break off, I'm sure there is a lot that you have learnt here, and as we said in the beginning when we opened this course again, when the RPC opened it, that the purpose of this course is to equip all of you with skills and knowledge to perform these duties professionally. Meaning, chief guest, that today, as we are passing out these trainees, they have been fed with all relevant skills that will enable them to deliver order into the public whenever there is need, professionally.
The Albertine Region Police CID Head Jackson Tumwine cautioned the police officers against alcoholism and recklessness.
Take what is good for your health, what is good for your thirst. As an officer, you must be 24 hours alert. Take what can quench your thirst. Take what is good for your health. Is that okay? But if some of you were drinking here, others were going to corrupt here, and by the way, on this parade, some of you will be corrupting. So let us control excessive drinking of alcohol, and keep ourselves to. We should take.
The 2 weeks training attracted 153 police officers and was held at Chihomboza Primary School, Bujumbura Division, Hoima Municipality. Story compiled by Nionzima George for UBC TV News.
Now, Uganda Institute of Information and Communication Technology has graduated 403 students. The Minister for Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakoba, officiated at the 13th graduation ceremony held at the Institute's premises in Nakawa, near Kampala. The Minister informed the gathering that skills development is key in stimulating a sustainable development process and can make a contribution towards ongoing efforts of transforming the economy. She said government has supported the construction of the National Innovation Hub that will house 300 innovators at the Institute premises. The graduates were awarded diplomas and certificates of Uganda Information, Communication and Technology.
To lead as an ICT economy for sustainable growth.
Skills development is key in stimulating a sustainable development process and can make a contribution to facilitating the transition from the informal to formal economy. Skills development is also essential to address the opportunities and challenges to meet new demands of the changing economies and new technologies in the context of globalization. ICT is viewed as a major tool for building knowledge societies. As the stewards of the ICT sector, we have great faith in modern technologies, abilities to transform a country from a peasant to modern and prosperous country, as envisaged in the support of government of Uganda, which is provided through the NISC project. We should endeavor as UICT to utilize and be part of the program to better our human capital development and skilling for inclusive growth and increased innovation. To our graduates, digital technologies can provide unprecedented solutions to address the fundamental needs of our society, which the graduates we are awarding have shown potential in your various fields. Jonathan.
To Soroti now, where Teso Cultural Institution and Soroti District leadership have commended Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, and Uganda Museum for promoting Uganda's heritage in the region to tell Uganda's story. Now, the cultural leader, Papa Imori Mori Osban, made the comments during the opening of Soroti Regional Museum, which is fully equipped by UBC with pictures of former President Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada and other pictures of national importance.
As written in the Bible, generations can perish if they don't have the knowledge of their past. That's why the idea of museums world over originated from, by keeping the heritage for storytelling. It's against this background that Uganda Museum has reopened the Soroti Regional Museum that existed back in 1950s.
As society is developing, people are not having time in families to understand how our cultural richness and histories are. So museum provides such knowledge. We are appreciating this, especially with the UBC as we partner, because they have a lot of information in regards to our past history.
Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, is making contributions to Uganda's heritage in museums by providing storytelling and scene pictures of late President Idi Amin Dada, whose popular government collapsed in 1979.
The significance of having the unseen photos of President Idi Amin being launched in Soroti is an indicator that the UBC is willing to make an extension of these exhibitions to the rest of the parts of the country. And with us partnering with Uganda Museum and then our good friends from Michigan University and Australian University, there's more yet to come.
Teso cultural leaders, Soroti district officials, students and residents of Soroti were impressive with the unseen archives of Idi Amin. They commended UBC and the Uganda Museum for the initiative.
Our history makes us, and we make history. Our children will talk of us also as those who have contributed to their present.
Here being a regional center, it is going to make other districts come to learn from this regional center. And as they learn, you took us through the whole history and what these students have been studying in school. They are going to be seeing it here because UBC managed to give us the history, even the pictures.
The events involved the senior citizens who worked in Amin's regime, sharing their experiences in question and answer session.
Let's talk about infrastructure during Amin's era. In Soroti, I'm told there was a radio station called Dakabela. I don't know whether it was under Radio Uganda, a place called Goli. I'm told that place was a real place for live bands where His Excellency could enjoy and play music. When it comes to publicity, when you talk about propaganda. So when he became president, he had known what it means to have vibrant publicity systems. And by doing that, he instituted the Mpoma satellite. There was also another satellite in West Nile.
The partners encouraged the government to invest more in museums in order to not only preserve Uganda's heritage but also to tell stories.
Uganda was one of Africa's leaders in media. It's not just with mobile phones that media revolutions have happened in this country. They happened before. Uganda was one of Africa's leaders in radio, in television, and other things beside, and it has a very rich heritage and archive of materials.
Places around the world, people build museums to commemorate great events in the history of their country or controversies or debates. Likewise here in Uganda, it's important that Ugandans would use the infrastructure that's available, the museum, here to create an account of the past that's meaningful and that helps people understand where they are and where they're going.
For UBC TV News, I am Philip Aguta in Soroti.
Business news now, and the Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Amelia Chambade, has pledged full support to the Management Institute and Advisory Center, Nakawa, by government to enhance development in the entrepreneurial sector. The Minister was presiding over the 7th graduation for MTAC, where over 900 students attained certificates and diplomas in various fields.
Over 900 students from Management Institute and Advisory Center Nakawa, including groups of women vendors, have been trained in different professionals. The training was held under the theme Promoting Entrepreneurship and Improving Management Performance for Sustainable Development. This follows the market-driven and responsive strategies designed by MTAC in broadening career options, as well as enhancing opportunities for job creation and enterprise development. The Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Amelia Chambade, said the courses offered by the Management Institute and Advisory Center are consistent with the National Development Plan.
MTAC's courses are market-driven and responsive strategies designed to broaden career options and enhance opportunities for job creation and enterprise development.
The minister expressed concern over deficits in the supply of skilled human resource and commended MTAC for offering comprehensive training to ensure the growth of sustainability of the enterprise.
I highly commend MTAC's interventions, namely the comprehensive vocational training to ensure the growth and sustainability of enterprises, especially MSMEs.
The Executive Director, Management Institute Advisory Center Nakawa, Sotaya Nabeta, said they have offered free vocational training, especially to street vendors, with an aim of empowering them to leave the streets.
We pledge to continue this to ensure that we turn Ugandans into job creators. When we started these vocational courses in 2015, we only managed to attract 91 because of the equipment. It helped us to have more equipment. I would state that by the end of last year, our enrollment in vocational courses stood at 971. I'm not a mathematician, but this kind of growth must be the best in the entire world.
Outstanding students were recognized by the Institute and had a number of reasons to their success.
Knowing what I wanted, plus the grace of God.
3,046 entrepreneurs have so far been trained in job creation and investment practices in different districts of Uganda. Sudat Kai reporting.
Thanks, Sudat, for that report, and I'm afraid we've got to leave it at that. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night. But I will leave you with Ali Tubera Juliet to give you the weather forecast for tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, and good night.
Brought to you by NEMA, ensuring sustainable development.
Hello, good evening. Welcome once again to yet another edition of the Weather Report. I'm Alitwera Juliet from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Today, most parts of the country have had showers, and by 9 a.m. this morning, we have received a rainfall report from Bushenyi, 44.9 millimeters of rainfall, Lira 40.1, Gulu 38 millimeters, whereas Masindi reported 15.5 millimeters. From the satellite image taken over Africa, it can show that we have high pressure centers over Indian Ocean that are pushing in moist winds, leading to the rain belt to be diffuse and over our country. For tomorrow morning, we are expecting showers in most parts of our country, apart from the eastern, where we are expecting intervals of sunshine and clouds. Later in the afternoon, we are expecting wet weather pickup, but the showers in most parts of our country. The maximum temperatures will rise up to 27 degrees centigrade for the northern region, the northeastern 28 degrees, whereas Kampala, we are expecting a maximum of 25 degrees centigrade. And for those in Kigezi Highlands, a maximum of 22 is expected. And if you intend to go in other cities around the world, we are expecting Mombasa together with Beijing to have light rains, thunder showers for Dodoma, whereas sunny intervals are expected for Addis Ababa at a maximum of 25 degrees centigrade. Tokyo, sunny conditions are expected. Thank you for keeping me company. Have a blessed night.
Brought to you by NEMA, ensuring sustainable development. Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Can